This is Paul Newman, and if you are seeing this screen, I am hoping to assure you here.
Hello everybody, and welcome back to another video here on this Wednesday evening here in the UK. Thank you very much for taking the time to join me today. As always, it is very much appreciated, and I hope you are all doing well this week. Dual classic week this week. We've got the Japanese St Ledger and the French St Ledger this upcoming weekend, so hopefully towards the end of the week there will be some crossing of the I's and dotting of the T's of what could be, I think, the final two classics of the Classic Watch 25 cycle, I think. But before then, I've decided to take a look at the horses in training sales in this video, which will appear on my own personal YouTube channel. Don't forget, there's also the Patreon channel, which I think is called Newman Racing. People will find other various sorts of horse racing content on there as well. Some of it is free, some of it is not, but the YouTube channel obviously will always be free, so people will be able to keep an eye on this, the follow-up articles to this. What we're going to do today is I'm going to take a look. I've taken a look at the horses in training sales that are taking place from the 28th. I think they're taking place from the 20 next Monday to Friday, actually. So the dates for that will be, I think it starts on the 27th, yes, next week. What I've done is I have gone through the consignments of Juddmonte, Coolmore, Godolphin and Shadwell, just with a view really to seeing what they're getting rid of. Really, a lot of them are what they are, I think, exposed flat horses. But I do like to check these really, just for possible breeding opportunities. Are they getting rid of any mares that could be of use to someone really to breed from, or maybe even national hunt racing? You know, I do think there's options here for national hunt people to get involved with some of these horses off the flat, if the pedigree is right, really, with maybe a view to schooling them over hurdles, that sort of thing, and maybe giving a horse a new lease of life. You know, if the pedigree is right, then I think the evidence is there that people can do that. You know, over the years, I remember Howard Johnson used to get many a decent hurdler from this sale off the flat. Horses like English Dreamer ended up at Howard Johnson's, and Coat of Honour, horses like that. And that's just two off the top of my head. There's been countless others through the years, I think, that have proven to be decent national hunt horses off the flat. So what I've done is I've got coming up really just a quick recap of a few lots that I like the look of. A couple of them that I had picked last week, I looked initially. A couple of them have been withdrawn from the sale, so we're not gonna even mention them. But less than a week to go now, and as it stands at the moment, unless some of them have been withdrawn in the last hour or so, I do think that a lot of these horses might turn up on the day for sale. So, without further ado, we're going to take a look at the first lot now, and the first lot is lot 222. The horse in question is Des Moines, a colt. This one is consigned by Coolmore. People see the horse has actually raced 3 times, finished second. This one really is hoping that it might make a decent hurdler for somebody along the lines. It's not really shown much ability on the flat. The horse is sired by Camelot, out of a dam called Nobilis, who herself was sired by Rock of Gibraltar. The horse hasn't been seen since May 2025, where it was beaten 7 lengths by Zaran, who turned out to be a fair horse, didn't he, really, Zaran? Interesting horse, Des Moines. You'll see there that the pedigree of the horse is what it is. It's fairly decent. You'll see there that the horse is related to Drill Sergeant and of other group winners as well. And also I spotted Sholikov is in there as well. The third dam is also the second dam of Sholikov, who was a very good national hunt stallion, wasn't he, back in the day. Very interesting horse, this, I think. Also, I found there's, through the same dam, Lemelure, as well as Shalikov in there. People will see Affianced is the dam in there as well. And affianced is the dam of Soldier of Fortune as well, and Heliostatic. So 2 other stallions there that went to stud as well. Soldier of Fortune as well, being marketed as a National Hunt stallion, the Galileo side horse. So yeah, interesting pedigree, I think. This horse here, Des Moines, for a possible juvenile hurdler along the lines, maybe. Still an entire, according to these people. So that'll be nice as well. It's related to stallions along the line as well. So that's the first one. An interesting lot, I feel, Des Moines. The next one we're going to take a look at is lot number 515. This one is a 2-year-old, I think. Yeah, a 2-year-old. So people have another chance on the flat with this one. An unraced horse at the moment called Vincenzo Bellini. And this one is out of Shale. Shale, a horse I identified myself. She won the Moy-Glare Futurity, I think. Yeah, she did. And she's from a decent line as well. Dan on McKinley, another horse out in Japan that is doing quite well at the moment. And we're winning Greek races from the Lagrian line, the line of Dylan Thomas, Queen's Logic, and all those, Lady of the Desert, Serpentine, like you can see here, the Derby winner. I think people have always got a chance on this line. It's even won the Moulin this year, courtesy of Sarlan, who is already on this line as well. So the line has got its critics, without any shadow of a doubt. I've never been one of them. Line has done well for me. This horse hasn't actually been named, according to the Racing Post, but these people have called it Vincenzo Bellini, the Tattersalls website. So we will go with that. This horse also consigned by Coolmore and sired by Wootton Bassett. I mean, you've got a blank check here, haven't you, really? You can do whatever you like. Obviously, you've got a 3-year-old campaign, classic trials, to maybe get the colt for if the horse is proved good enough. But it would worry me that the horse hasn't had a start for Coolmore without any shadow of a doubt. You know, but interesting horse, only really because it's unraced and by a dam that I had identified myself, and that is how I do like to identify some of my horses. The next one we're going to take a look at is Lord Byron, lot number 518. This one is another one consigned by Coolmore. People see this one raced the other day on Navan and over 1 mile and 6 furlongs. Horse finished second, beaten by Dipped in Moonlight. He quite possibly would have improved on his first start there when he was rated 72, when he was beaten by Genealogy in September 2024. Genealogy, I think, might also have been entered at some point in this sale as well. This is another one by Camelot, who I think as a 3-year-old is ready for maybe a National Hunt trainer to step up to the mark, really, and secure this lot. Very interesting horse, I think, Lord Byron. People will see. It's a good old-fashioned Aga Khan dam line, this one. It's related to plenty of black-type horses that have been from the Aga Khan. Also related to this one's Group 1 winner just again this year, Dynamic Pricing, sired by Night of Thunder, is also underneath the first dam of Lord Byron. But for me, with the good solid Aga Khan dam line, also Bay Bridge is another one who might be siring a few National Hunt horses somewhere along the line, or maybe flat horses as well. That horse is won the Champion Stakes and is at stud as well. Although I think his first 2-year-olds hit the track running either next year or the year after. Also related to Cormorant. Cormorant won a Derby trial. This horse I think will stay. It's proven that I think already. 1 mile 6 furlongs and only its second start. Heading over a furlong out, no extra. So hopefully with a bit more seasoning, a bit more experience and plenty of schooling, I think this horse, Lord Byron, could be quite an interesting one for hurdlers to take a punt on. Be interesting to see where the horse ends up if it is sold in the sale, Lord Byron. The next one we're going to take a look at is lot number 608. Another one that raced the other day, Edward Hamilton. Another one consigned by Coolmore. Edward Hamilton finished last, beaten 35 lengths at odds of 16 to 1 in a listed race. Recently, 3 days ago in the Trigo Stakes, after winning first time out, gaining a mark of 85, winning by 1.5 lengths in a Dundalk Maiden in September 2025. This horse is Peter Brandt owned, as well as Coolmore, sired by Frankel, out of a dam called Blue Kimono. Very interesting horse this is. I think this one could as well. Is got an interesting pedigree as well. I do think there's Group 1 winners under the first dam and under the second dam and the third dam. Beauty Parlour won the French 1,000 guineas. And she is also a dam of a winner, Blowout, Beauty Parlour, under the dam Bastet that won a listed race, and under the third dam, Might and Power, the champion old horse in Australia in 1997 and 1998. Cox Plate winner, Coalfield Stakes winner, Doomben Cup winner, multiple Group 1 winners actually, looking at this, Melbourne Cup and Caulfield Cup. Interesting horse, without any shadow of a doubt. There's had form as well with horses like Lucky Owners, won the Hong Kong Mile, and the sire, Miss Powerbird as well, has bred quite well. Grand Dam of Time for War, a sire, and Hill Flyer, who won the Challenge Stakes in New Zealand. Very interesting horse, I think, this one. It's from an interesting line, and I do think that it's shown something that would maybe indicate to me that it might be worth taking a punt on at some point along the line and seeing if the horse can be schooled over a hurdle or something. The sire of Invincible Spirit, I do think the horse would probably stay 2 miles, I do think. But yeah, this would be one of the more exotic ones that I've found in the sale. It's just a shame it didn't run better the other day. You know, the other day's run might have exposed it a little bit, but I've kept it on the list. It's interesting. We'll see how it gets on, I think. The next one we're going to take a look at is Tower of London. This one is arguably the best horse for sale at this auction, I would say. I would say this horse is a legitimate stallion prospect. His older brother Capri is a stallion now, National Hunt Stallion. You know, the Capri won the Irish Derby and the St. Leger. Tower of London has got good form. You know, Tower of London has won plenty of races. The horse has won the Group 2 Coa Cup of 2024. The horse won the Group 2 Dubai Gold Cup at Meydan in 2024 as well. The horse won the Group 3 Red Sea Turf Handicap as well in Saudi Arabia, as well as winning the Ulster Derby, which is a handicap, in 2023. Interesting horse. I've always liked the horse. He's always been one of mine. I followed him. I think he was identified on what would have been Classic Watch 24, I think. Or maybe Classic Watch 23 now, the 5-year-old, actually, looking at him. But yeah, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if this horse was bought and sent to stud somewhere, because this horse is a good horse. You know, very interesting pedigree as well. Tower of London, you'll see Brazil there as well. He won famously beating Deep Impact over hurdles, didn't he, in the Grade 3 Fred Winter Juvenile Hurdle. And he also won the Grade 3 Fishery Lane Hurdle at Naas as well. There's horses like Passion as well that was placed in the British Champion and Mares race and the Irish Oaks. Cypress Creek as well. I think it might be a sire out in Australia, that one. I'm not 100% sure where that one is siring. Group 3. And there's other hints there. I found a decent hurdler commissioning was as well. Rated 100. Oh, no, that's a different line. That's Commissioner. That's a different horse. Sorry. That is later commissioning was the Grade 1 winner of the Fillies Mile that retired before she had a 3-year-old campaign. And her younger brother, Military Academy, I've been quite disappointed with this year, to be honest. I was expecting a little bit better from him. And there's another one of mine down the bottom as well, Erica Express, winner of the Grade 3 Fairy Stakes. She was placed in the Group 1 race behind another one of mine, Embroidery, at the weekend. Lost nothing in defeat, going down on her sword. I mean, this to me, I'll be surprised if they don't get a few quid for this one. Be interesting to see where the horse ends up. Very good horse, I do think. Tower of London. And just disappointing that they're deciding not to standing at their national stud. But they've got his older brother, you see, Capri. And how many more do they want on the same line? Obviously, not many. Another one going around on the same line, which is at the same sale, is Saratoga. I mean, you saw there that this horse, as related to Brazil, that did win the Grade 3 Fred Winter Juvenile Hurdle. This one, to me, would be a definite candidate for a juvenile national hurdler. I don't think his form is good enough on the flat, finishing fifth in a £50,000 handicap in October, the Beggars End Premier Handicap. The horse did win a £9,000 handicap on the flat, beating Kilmeaden by 1 3/4 lengths. Has won a race on the flat and has finished 4 times out of 6 in the first 3. But to me, I don't think this horse has done nearly enough. He could be one that could be sent round as an entire over hurdles. And if this horse was to actually win some races over hurdles, it's interesting that Coolmore, to me, with horses like out in France, are trying to make national hunt stallions out of certain horses with certain trainers, and they're willing to let this entire go that is a full brother or a half brother to a Grade 3 winning hurdler who beat what's it called, didn't he, Gaelic Warrior in that race. You know, they're not willing to take a chance on this being a decent hurdler on the track and then getting it to stud. They baffle me sometimes, these breeding operations, because this to me would be a decent candidate as well. It's off a decent Lagardère line. Diamanaka and all them were Lagardère horses, I think. But yeah, it's an interesting horse, this. You know, Tower of London, and to that extent, Saratoga as well, but for vastly different reasons. You know, I wouldn't put anybody off both of them. This one could be a decent hurdler, and Tower of London, well, I can't see why that wouldn't be a decent stallion, that horse. The next one we're going to take a look at is another one of mine, lot 669, Officer. I mean, this to me is borderline as to whether this horse has done enough to be a stallion. I do think it's a very well-bred horse. It's on the Beauty is Truth and Zeldin line, you know. Very well-bred horse. Trinity College as well, that has been sold, is also on this line, who's probably of a similar level to the Royal Ascot winner, Officer. This one was Trinity College. Arguably, Trinity College was a bit better. The United States is a stallion going round in South Africa now. He sired a pattern race winner the other month. One of those Group 2 races in April, and then the last month I think he sired. And there's other pattern race horses as well, like Whirl, who has gone round on the same line this year to great success, winning the Nassau and the Pretty Polly, and placed in the Irish Oaks. I think people look at the form of Officer. He's raced 5 times, and the horse has only won a listed race and been 5th in the St James's Palace. The horse was well beaten in the Irish Guineas, 7th out of 9. The horse managed to win the listed Henry Longfellow Tetrarch Stakes, beating Cohenwood by a length and 3/4. Went into a Racing Post rating of 112, and he was also 3rd behind Henry Matisse and Big Gossie in the listed Gladness Stakes. So he's there or thereabouts in a few races. It's just a shame. I think this one really, could he make a hurdler? I mean, I found this dam, Zelda, who is also the dam of 154 rated National Hunt Flat Horse, commissioned. That was a John Ferguson trained ex-Godolphin horse. I think he also won a race on the flat at Royal Ascot. Ended up being trained by Gordon Elliott. But yeah, very interesting horse. I do think Officer, it's on the cusp. You know, if people was to take a risk and stand it as stallion, they'd probably say his form's not good enough. And they would arguably be right. But to me, I think I'm surprised they're selling this horse. Saw side by Dubawi out of Hydrangea. Very well-bred horse. As we've shown, you know, go back to it. There's horses going around like Hawkwing, I think. No, not Hawkwing. What's the other one? Hawk Mountain. It's going to be favourite, I think, for the Group 1 Racing Post Futurity this year. Officer's a younger half-brother. So this is a line I think Coolmore was still interested in. But they seem to have given up a bit on this one. They gave up a bit on Trinity College as well, didn't they? I thought. But very interesting horse. You know, very interesting. It's a horse that I do think could offer people something, without any shadow of a doubt, Officer. through the sale. And it'll be interesting to see how much money he goes for and who ends up with him and what they do with him. Because good horse. Very good horse. And you'll see there that I've shown the dam line further back as well. It's from the family line of Last Tycoon. You know, Irish Lass, I think, was the 5th dam of officer. And you'll see it's from the family of Last Tycoon. Mill Princess is definitely in the pedigree of our horse. And you've got horses like Valentine's Waltz, Thousand Guineas winners there. Valentine's Waltz and Tie Black. So the horse is related to classic winners. Yeah, it's a good horse. Officer. Surprised they've given up on him. The next one we're going to take a look at, we're now at the Godolphin ones, I think. I looked at the Juddmonte ones, couldn't really find anything. A couple of the other Godolphin ones I was looking at was withdrawn. I found one that was related to Pridwell. Arguably showing the best hurdle form on this video if it had been for sale, but he's been withdrawn. This one, lot number 1092, is a filly. Heart of Eternity, a 3-year-old filly. You'll see she's raced 3 times and finished 3rd twice, gaining a best racing post rating of 71. She seems a consistent filly, 71 and 69 twice. But this one, I think, if it has any interest for anybody, I think it is as a breeding prospect, as a dam. Horse sired by Pinatubo, out of Lover's Knot, who herself was sired by Invincible Spirit. I think she's shown in those 3 runs that she is what she is on the track. I would be looking at, if I was suggesting that somebody buy this filly, I would be suggesting they buy her and retire her and breed with her straight away. You know, very interesting pedigree. Heart of Eternity. There's from the family of Key Victory, which was another one of mine, ended up winning a listed race only that was subsequently quite a disappointing horse, Key Victory. But it's related to horses like Poet's Voice, this one. Yeah, it's a very interesting horse. And it's also from the family of another stallion I found, George Vancouver, through a dam called Versailles Treaty, who herself was a Group 1 winning dam out in America. If you take a look at the pedigree of this horse, George Vancouver, Versailles Treaty is out of 10 cents a dance and exclusive dancer as well, which is the same as our line, Bright Tiara. It's just a shame that they don't go back any further because I've closed down all the tabs. But I can assure you this horse is on the same dam line, George Vancouver. Sired quite small crops. The biggest crop he sired was 74 in 2016. Only sired 1 stakes winner, Lefebvre, winner of a Woodbine Duchess Stakes, 2nd in a couple of French Group 3s, and 3rd in another Group 3, another 2 Group 3s out in America. A couple of other pattern placed horses there as well. But yeah, I mean, this Heart of Eternity is from this dam line. I feel like I need to prove it now because it needs to be, people need to show that what I'm saying is correct. So if people go back through the dams of this horse here, they will get to this line with George Vancouver on and the dam of the horse. Versailles Treaty, there's a Bright Tiara. And I think Versailles Treaty will either kick in on the 3rd or 4th dam, I think. There's Poet's Voice, and I think Expressive Dance is on this page. Sorry, I don't know where we are. Oh no, Versailles Treaty, Expressive Dance, and their exclusive dancer. There we are, you see. So for exclusive dancer, we will get to this line. I do think it's an interesting breeding prospect, and that's related to a couple of stallions. Poet's Voice, obviously, you know, is going to be a jump stallion, I think. But George Vancouver has gone round and sired a few. I mean, why, if you could get this horse for the right price, why would you not breed from it? Interesting horse, but I wouldn't be looking at buying it to race. I wouldn't be looking at doing that. The next horse we're going to take a look at is another. We're on to the Shadwell ones now. I found 2 from Shadwell. The first one we're going to take a look at is lot number 188, Mook Talith, an interesting horse. He seems to be quite a progressive horse, albeit quite slowly progressive. The horse recently won a £26,000 handicap in October at York, 1 mile, 2.5 furlongs, where he ran to a mark of 94. This one to me is, I'm sure I'm punting here above this. I'm sure this one has a profile that might attract foreign flat breeders looking at racers, looking at it. But me, I will be looking at, because it's on the Agaff Dam line, I'll be looking at seeing if I can make this horse a hurdler. They've already gelded the horse. It's just whether it'd go for too much. Very good horse, Agaff, 4th dam, and further back than that, Albertine, the 5th dam, links you into horses like Luxembourg and horses like that, are on the Albertine dam line, you know. So I do think that there's national hunt sires like Luxembourg are going to figure at some point on this dam line and sire a few horses. But this horse here, you know, I'll be looking at seeing, could they pop it over hurdles? Siuni is the dam sire of the horse. I don't know, the more I look at it, the more I think it's going to go somewhere and race on. They've not got to the bottom of it, have they? You know, it's still improving on the flat. Good enough to win a £26,000 handicap. Went up £8 for that. But to me, I'll be looking at a hurdler. I'm not interested in racing on the flat from National. I'd never buy flat horses. I'd breed them. You see, I wouldn't be looking at buying them. But I do think that if a National Hunt hurdler, National Hunt trainer can get some decent blood off the flat and school it, there's a chance. You know, but this horse here could be a decent hurdler, but will he get the chance to prove it? You know, could be a decent flat horse even further down the line. Mook Talith. Very nice horse, I do think. Cambridge is another one going round for Coolmore recently. Placed in the Group 3 Airsfield Stakes. That's a full brother to the dam. Half brother, sorry, sired by Dubawi. Interesting horse, I think. Mook Talith. The last one we need to look at is probably now the one from Pridwell is not at the sale. Arguably got the best National Hunt form on prospects on offer, I think. Lot number 280 is Munsif, sired by See the Stars Again out of Mubira. This one is on a good, solid Aga Khan line, full of stamina. Horses like Tagrida, Azima, Estimate, all them horses, Gold Cup horses up on the flat. Enzeli, one that won some good races over on the flat as well. Ascot Gold Cup. Ebadiah as well. Group 1 horses. Pre-Royal Oak, classic winner. Won the Irish Oaks as well. This is a laden with pedigree stamina. Munsif, the horse was raced 6 times and has been in the first 3 in 4 of his six starts again. He's raced some good races. Won an £18,000 handicap at Doncaster. And then was 6th behind Yaber in the Old Rowley Cup, which is always, I think, a fantastic National Hunt trial. It's a bit like the races like the Old Newton Cup and that. You're always in business, I think, with some of them. And this one here has never contested a pattern race and has been half decent in handicaps. Trained on the flat by Roger Varian. Interesting horse, I think. If people go, there's a Supreme Novices Hurdle winner on this line. Of course there is, you see. You've got horses like Ebazaya. You got Erzen there, was a 134 rated horse over the jumps for Nicky Henderson, as well as being a decent horse as well. You know, there's some decent horses. There's Estimate and all them, you see. Proper horses. And under the dam, Ebadiah, you've got the former Supreme Novices Hurdle winner, Ebazian, 156 rated. Supreme Novices Hurdle winner back in the day. Trained by Willie Mullins. So people on this line, they don't really have to go that far back to find a decent, proven National Hunt horse on the line. You know, so that, to me, this one here, again, they saved me a few quid by gelding it for me if I was looking to buy it, and which I would. I think it's a good horse, this one. Munsif, a good, solid, well-bred horse. Just again, is it going to go for too much? You know, I wouldn't be looking even there. Prince Faisal had a go at it. Look through Tamani and Noticeable Grace, 2 Prince Faisal horses out of the same dam there. Gentle of My Mind under the 3rd dam. Very good horse. You know, the proof is there, really. In the pudding. The horse has gone round to a decent level, just below pattern race class on the flat. This would be the sort of horse that I think would make a top-class hurdler, without any shadow of a doubt. Will it be given the opportunity? Will someone train it and give it the opportunity to do so? I would be delighted to see that. because this is a good horse, I do think, over hurdles. I've found many horse like this over the years off the flat. Seems to tick a lot of boxes. Tagruda, you know, some good, solid, stout Gold Cup horses on the flat, 2.5 miles. And then you've got the Supreme Novices Hurdle winner, not so far back as well, Ebers Iron. Bit of a fluke on the day, but on the day it proved its class, and that's all horses can do. You know, it rewarded people that were perseverant on the day. And that, to me, Munsif, I do think, is arguably the best one. On the video, I didn't save it for last on purpose. It was just the way the video panned out. I went through the lots in that order: Coolmore, Juddmonte, Godolphin and Shadwell. But I do think we can end the video now. Anybody that wants to take a look at the lots themselves can find them on the Tattersalls website, tattersalls.com/sales. And you'll see they're just clicking on the horses in training tab and then scroll through them all. But for now, I think I can leave this video here. What I will do is I will say thank you very much to you all for taking the time to watch the video. I hope you've enjoyed watching it as much as I've enjoyed making it. What I will do is I will leave you a copy to all the other sales videos that are on the YouTube channel. There's a few now, 7 or 8. There might be a few more in the next 3 or 4 months. It's about time that I review some. Starting to make videos on sales but not review them. Towards the end of the year, we've got a year of very average Persian King 3-year-olds to look at, and a year of even more average up to this point Victor Lador and 2-year-olds to look at. And then there's also the National Hunters horses that we picked from the French side of things not so long ago. Two lots of them as well. They'll be on his channel at some point as well on this playlist, but I'll include this playlist here as well. And I will also give you all an opportunity, if you like this sort of content, aside from the individual look at the horses, if you like the sales content, then why not subscribe to the channel? Because it is something I do like to do at various points of the year, because I can. I do think my views are worth listening to. I remember once I advised someone that they looked at Pentland Hills the year that won the Triumph in the owners group, and they were astounded by that. But if they'd have known me for a long time, that'd have been one of many that they'd have known. You know, they might have bought a few more shares than what they did and believed in me a bit longer, a bit more if they knew. But yeah, very interesting lots these are. Some of them are speculative, obviously. Some of them, like the last one we looked at, they look really as though it's just a matter of them being given the opportunity to do that more than anything, really. Just a shame that I've got no rich billionaire benefactor that I could just go and say to them, yeah, go and buy all these horses and see how you get on with them and find a trainer for them. And I think you might do all right with all these lot. Time will tell. But for now, I do think I'll leave this video here. What we've got coming up are, like I said, dual classics this week. Japanese Ledger, French Ledger. I do think it's the first meeting of Cheltenham this week as well. So I suppose I'd better get the old National Hunt horses open at some point this week as well. And see. Hopefully the road to the New Zealand Guineas will hot up a bit as well. Little Black Dress, well beaten last week, but she did get a place. So we're still hanging on. Got to find a colt would be nice. But for now, I think I'm going to leave this video here. Take care, everybody. Look after yourselves and your loved ones. Take care and goodbye.